Evening, guys. Hope you're all well. Back with another Maniacs stream. Only we're not just going to be talking about 8-bit today. We are going to mention a 16-bit system as well. I think it needs to be spoke about, to be honest. It's come out recently. Obviously, you guys will know what I mean. We do have 2 new guests, but we do have 1 returning guest. And I'm going to bring him in now, and that is Mr. Sega Zombie. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad.
Busy day today?
Yeah, fairly busy. I've been at home today, which has been good. So no shop today. So I've been busy putting stuff online and playing some games.
Nice.
What do, isn't it?
And you've been setting something up as well, haven't you? That's in the background, isn't it?
Yeah. That's going to be setting up in the background. That is nothing to do with micros, though, unfortunately.
Right. Okay. Let's get our next guest in. Now, this guy is new to micros, but he's definitely enjoying it. And I definitely wanted him on the stream because it's a unique perspective he's got, I think. Wouldn't you agree, Scott?
Totally. 100%.
Yeah. So that is Lee the Retro Chef. How you doing, mate?
I'm very well. Just waving. This is my my Michael Barrymore strike it lucky wave to the crowd.
The royal one.
Royal. I was going to say it as more of a royal wave.
I am in Essex. Yeah, thanks for having me on, Lee. I'm looking forward to this, mate. It's good to chat about something that I don't know a lot about, but I'm going to give you my 10 pence on it. So it's interesting.
But, see, that's why I wanted to have you on, because like your journey to this is very different to all of ours. So you're going to have a unique perspective, aren't you? So
yeah, definitely. Looking
very new. It's good to see someone new that's not really got any nostalgia for it and what they think.
And no biases either when you think about it. Yeah. Right, let's get our next guest in, and I'm so happy he's on here. I've been wanting to get him on, and he is the king of the community, or as he calls himself, the pillock of the community, and that is TheRetroBear.
Yes.
How you doing?
I'm very well. Hello, everybody. Yeah, I thought this was a Eurovision. I thought it was a Eurovision stream. Sorry, I've got the wrong program. No, thank you very much for having me on, Lee. I do appreciate that, and a very nice introduction. Thank you for that. And nice to be here with these great YouTubers, and of course Retro Chef as well. So that's great.
Well, I know you like your 8-bit micros, so I had to get you on here at some point. It had to be done. So
it's a subject which is very close to my heart, but also nice to see that there's a resurging popularity at the moment as well, which is good to see. So happy to be here. Thank you very much.
It is funny, isn't it, how that's worked out just recently? I mean, like, it's all Paul's fault, I think. Like, I mean, Paul put me back onto the Commodore 64 because I started seeing his videos, and then I started seeing size. So it was like, right, I need to get Commodore 64 again. And then with Sai, I thought, I might actually get a Spectrum. Never really had much of a go on one of them, and it's all sort of gone downhill from there, or is it uphill? I don't know. Probably downhill because I ain't had a lot of luck with that Spectrum, but we won't go into that.
No, you are right. It's the right time for it, and when I first started getting onto YouTube, that was what I started with, the Commodore 64, and I was thinking, probably in the last 6 months or so, it's getting a bit of popularity again. As you said, people like Sai and Paul were doing videos and really pushing it. And I thought, it's about the right time again. And absolutely right, mate. You've hit it right in the right time here.
I think homebrew's helped with that quite a bit as well, hasn't it? Because the market of homebrew is getting quite big now.
Yeah.
There's some cracking games being released homebrew. That's why, isn't it?
There is. We'll get to that later on, though, because I'm going to show what I've recently picked up. Put my little banner at the bottom there, and let's have a look at the comments, because there's a lot of comments here. If I can get it to work, and it's not. Houston, we have a problem. I can't get the comments up. I've had trouble with this laptop all day. Yeah, no, it's not having none of it.
You ain't running it through your Commodore, are you?
I don't know what's happening here. It's having a funny 5 minutes here. There we go. God, I'll tell you, I don't know what it is. Windows constantly updating, and every time I get an update, something goes wrong. Like earlier on, I couldn't get it to recognize my headset. So it's like, great, I'm going on a stream and I might not have a headset working. You know, oh god,
It sounds
Right.
like our system at work. That if you just change, you know, we just want to change this slightly. Okay, yeah, and the whole lot falls over. Everything else stops working. Yeah, just because somebody wants to change a capital letter at the start or something.
yeah. I just wish Bill Gates would leave things alone. Right, so we've got 16 bits and bobs.
Ali.
Retro bait. All his fault. Alex, how you doing, mate? How you doing? Martin, the Hobby Lodge,
Martin.
of course.
The Hobbyist Lodge.
And we've got Tez made this.
Evening, Tez.
Now, who's this guy? Like, who's this? God.
It's a zombie. Someone's at a zombie.
Yeah, he always sits around. He's like a dirty smelly.
What's this? Nothing wrong about talking about even more Commodore. Well, I'd expect no less from you, Martin. Ginger Hippie Gaming. And what's he put? I bet he's saying about Spectrum.
Did Lee get? I might have. I've got something to know later for the first time ever on YouTube.
He's preempting it, isn't he?
It's small sport. Yeah, my limp wrist. Small sport.
So I say, what's that about limp wrist?
That's when I was waving.
Oh, right. Yeah. Right. Who else we got here? We have got Generation
GP.
Pixel.
GP.
He's a huge Spectrum fan. Definitely got to have him on at some point.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Oh, talking about notifications.
Micro
Chef. Now that is a different stream. Like
that is, yeah, that's you know.
Just pop me in, say hello, nerdy geezer. It's Tony. Okay. Oh,
Big Tony.
Electronic.
Tone's here with another account. Bless him.
Yeah, how many accounts has he got? Yeah,
it's not a Retro 5 stream. Let's not go there about accounts. Let's not go there about accounts.
Oh, whoa. Chat's just gone flying. Yeah, I don't know who this guy is. Move on. so many homebrews as well as for the micros. Yes. Well, I got a nice homebrew. It's not for a micro, but OSG gifted me another world for the Dreamcast.
Yeah, I saw you post that. Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, looking forward to getting a go on that. It'd be interesting to see what that looks like on there.
Well, Dreamcast had a few ports. I mean, I've got I want to get this right. Is it Metal Gear Solid? Playing through Bleen.
Oh, the Bleen craft. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Metal Gear Solid 1. Through a Bleen.
There was Metal Gear Solid. There was
Gran Turismo,
weren't there?
And I don't know what else, Scott. I'm talking. Well, we're talking 20 odd years ago now, and the rest 25 nearly.
Yeah.
Interesting. Right. Okay. Let's go to our first topic. Now, this one's going to be more for you, Russ and Lee, because me and Scott have done this already. I always like to do this each stream so that everyone gets an idea of your background, you know. So that is what got you into micros. Now, the way we answered it was we talked about how we first got into them and then how we got back into them later on. So that could be an interesting one for Lee, because I don't suppose he really had an initial introduction. But yeah. So, yeah, take it away, Russ.
Oh, right. Well, mine's more interesting because I'd never actually owned any of these systems when I was younger. I only got my introduction to micros through friends at school. Most of them had Commodore 64s, which is where my affiliation really lies, because that's what I played most of. Didn't know very many people at all with Spectrums, which is really surprising. The only time I can remember playing on the Spectrum was at a friend's house before his birthday. It was his birthday. We were going out to watch Rocky IV at the cinema. That's how long ago it was.
Wow.
And I remember seeing he got the Spectrum set up. I thought I was really interested. Wow, that's different, you know. But my introduction was a friend of mine. He had a Commodore 64, and we used to pile around there all the time, and that was it. And I'd grown up with the 2600. So it's a complete departure from that. Obviously, complete difference in graphics and sound and the way you play the games and the way they were loaded. You know, cartridge 2600, you bang it straight in. With the 64, you put the tape in, you press play and all that stuff. And but I just remember it's like, wow, this is great. You know, this is how this is the next level. Of course, I immediately wanted one and never got one. But for probably about 3 years, 4 years, from about 1985 to about 1989, that's how I got my introduction to microcomputers. And then when I did actually get a computer at the end of the day, it was actually an Amiga, so we sort of jumped that generation from there. But I've always regretted never having one, and never met anybody with an Amstrad either. That was weird, because Spectrum was there, but I didn't see much of it. Amstrad, I saw them in the shops, but that was about it. And then great times playing on those games, because we were big sports. You know, when we were kids, we were really into our football and cricket. We used to play cricket a lot. So there was a game on the 64 called Graham Gooch's Cricket, which we used to play forever. You know, just not very exciting to play something like that, but we would just play those games. We played leaderboard. We used to like a bit of golf, and there was all the big arcade games that we did. And around that time, I was getting into arcade games, and I think I played the 64 version of Outrun first before I played the arcade game, which is weird. I think so. The timelines might be a little confused there, but I remember playing it on the Commodore 64 thinking, this isn't very good. And then played it in the arcade. I thought it's a completely different game.
Yeah.
You know, it's terrible. It's a terrible conversion. Mine most somewhere anyway. But
definitely.
that was it. So about 5 years there, just living out these great games on my mate's Commodore 64. And years passed by, and when I started retro collecting, which was probably back in 2008, I would say, one of the first things I really wanted to do was get my hands on the Commodore 64, but I got sidetracked by going for consoles first. So I started getting the Mega Drive, etc., and going that way. And all of a sudden, there's just one day I thought, you know what, I'm just, going to keep looking for 8-bit, couldn't find any. And then one Christmas, it was Christmas 2009, I'm pretty sure it was, my missus and her mother-in-law, who was living with us at the time, they chipped in and bought me a Commodore 64 for Christmas.
Nice.
So in 2009, so it's like reliving Christmas 1984, 25 years later.
They wrapped it. They wrapped it up.
Like proper present.
Nice.
We brought the presents down, we set them all up, and I'm looking at it and thinking,
what is that?
that's a big present. It's a skateboard. Yes, it's a Tony Hawk's one that I bought the other day. Yeah. But no, I thought that's a big, and it can't possibly be, can it? And it was. And I always tore the paper off. I was like, no freaking way, and I was like that, just, like a child again.
Yeah.
And finally,
Nice.
I've got one. And they got me, I think it was Beachhead and Monty on the Run. I think, to go with it as well. So, Christmas Day 2009, I'm playing Monty on the Run. Got to take the front room, got the telly out, right, plug it all in, get it all working out. And then you got the Hubbard theme tune coming on and the infuriating gameplay. But that was it. And then I think 6 months later, I picked up a huge bundle from off eBay from a place in Kidderminster. And there was a massive pile of games. And I didn't realise that when I got there was actually another Commodore 64 included in it as well. I think I paid 50 quid.
Wow.
And there must have been 200 to 300 games.
Bloody hell.
Can you imagine trying to do this one like that now? You're talking a few hundred quid. And that I thought, now I've got this, I can do it. And then when I started doing YouTube in 2011 for a month, I was doing Commodore 64 gameplay.
Yeah.
So that's where I started, and I also do that again now.
Right.
And I did that for a month and then stopped for 7 years. And then obviously I went off in different directions. But now I've come around again, since it's the third wave, it probably, it is just the third wave now. I can't get enough of the 8-bit stuff again.
Yeah.
I'm really interested. I bought a fair bit from Scott last year for the Spectrum, and bought half his Hit Squad collection off him. I think that's what it was, which is great to have. I did a trade with Cy. He sent me a load of Spectrum and Amstrad games,
Nice.
as well during that period. And now I'm picking up 8-bit compilations for the 64. I'm buying Hit Squads here and there. I'm adding Amstrad stuff in as well. I just love it. It's like at the moment that's where my focus is. I went to Birmingham Game Market on Sunday, and I'm looking around for 8-bit stuff. Forget everything else. I probably missed half the stuff I would have normally have got. I'm just looking for 8-bit stuff. Got a vintage game. He's got a big pile out the back. Got a Danish shop. He's got stuff there. I go to all the Get Gaming at Gornley's got a little bit there as well, and that's where I am now. So I come full circle, really.
Yeah. I mean, I do pick up the odd bit here and there, but I'm pretty much buying micro stuff at the moment, so I know what you're on about when you say that. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what.
totally relate as well.
If I show you what I got on Sunday, I got the one game, so to show you. But it's Winners Compilation.
Oh, I remember them. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So that's got Thunderblade, Leadstorm, Indiana Jones, The Temple of Doom, Impossible Mission 2, and Blasteroids, which is an update of Asteroids.
Oh, Impossible Mission 2. Because Paul is on here, he'd be wetting himself right now. He loves that game, doesn't he?
And I was thrilled. It's got everything's in there, all the plastic inlays in there as well. Unfortunately, it's the instructions are for the wrong compilation. But
Oh, for fuck's sake.
that's my fault, because I thought, they're in there. I didn't bother to check them, and then I got home and I saw that. And I thought, hang on, I haven't got Myth. Myth isn't in here. And then I looked at the back and it says System 3, which is a completely different thing. So I realised I got the wrong one. But
to be fair, you it's not something you'd really check anyway. You look, you see a bit of paper, you'd naturally assume it's the right one, wouldn't you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that was $12.99 in Tandy's. You won't be able to see that, but
Tandy
$12.99.
Yeah, Tandy. Yeah, I used to go in and mess up all their computers back in the day. I used to love it. Yeah, I used to go in there and just start deleting stuff. I used to enjoy that.
But that is the sort of thing I look for now, and or I'm looking for, 8-bit games, and it's strange, really. It's strange, but I love it.
What's great about all these old games, though, the micro stuff, is like what you said there about the Tandy label. I was just going through a load of Spectrum, and there was John Menzies, there was Woolworths, and just seeing all that, that's the nostalgia of it as well, isn't it?
W8 Smiths and Boots as well. You get one with Boots written on it, you've done well, don't you?
Yeah. Boots. I remember Boots stuff. Yeah,
I used to love going in Boots, looking at the old games and that. Yeah,
I haven't got the Hollywood pack. That's one I'm definitely missing.
OSG.
OSG mentioned that one. Yeah, no, I'd like that one. But I know it's quite pricey, though, I think, a little bit. As long as the price is right, I don't mind paying for it. I mean, what I paid for that, I paid the equivalent of 80p a game, which is nothing. I paid £4 for that.
Wow.
And I think you look on eBay, it's at least, usually going price that is about a tenner. It's a bit bashed around the edges, but I ain't bothered about that. As long as the tapes are there, tapes are in good condition, there's no mold on them, there's no issues with it. I'm happy with that. So
yeah, it's a good price. Look at this.
I find that the Facebook groups, the sort of micro specialist groups on Facebook, are the best places to buy a lot of them sort of games as well, because their eBay is just ridiculous.
Oh yeah, I've stopped looking on eBay. It's like I'm just not bothering there. But I don't do Facebook, so I'm probably missing out on loads of stuff anyway.
Oh, you are. There's
pointless
fantastic micro groups on Facebook. There it is.
It's pointless looking on eBay because Martin's outbidding everyone. He's pointless. The filthy animal. He's outbidding everyone.
Well, you saying about Martin. I mean, did you see that comment there?
Yeah, I saw.
And then
But he's been serious, isn't he? He's got a serious problem.
He has. I mean, look, Size then put Martin is off the wagon again, and then 8-bit Rach just put Martin stop.
Yeah, you're right. But it's very easy to do so. I mean, like I said, I've probably got over 400 physical Commodore 64, probably in the region of 150.
Wow.
Physical Spectrum, and Amstrad's probably approaching about 40 or 50 now as well. So
wow,
that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
it's quite a collection. And like I said, my ethos has always been, I know you can do it different ways, but I like to play it on the original system with the original hardware and the original software, and go through the pain of loading the tape.
Yeah,
and have it not load or stop loading. I have to do it 3 or 4 times. I have to get 2 different recorders out. If it's a 64, I'm getting, my 64 setup is I've got the Commodore 64 and I've got a tape deck either side. So it works in that one, don't work in that one. It'll go in that one.
Switch it over to the other one, yeah.
One of them will work. It's weird. And I know that's the same, you can have an 8-bit game which will work on your system. You lend it to somebody else who won't work on this.
Yeah,
whatever system it is. So
it's half the fun, though, isn't it?
I love it, Scott. I love it. It's like, is this going to load? Is it going to load? No, it's not. Okay, let's get doing that. Yes, it's loaded this time. It's great. It's got further than the last one. Brilliant. you know, it's an achievement. It's like unlocking 1000G on Xbox. Will the game load? Yes, it is. Yeah, great.
Well, I mean, with the Spectrum I've got at the moment, it's more often than not that it won't load. So it's not quite so good for me. Right, Lee, you've got a quite unique perspective on this. I'm looking forward to hearing this.
Yeah, well, back in the day, I never had a Commodore, an Amstrad, a Spectrum. My brother had a Spectrum Plus 2. And I remember watching him because being 5 years younger, I was allowed to watch. Wasn't allowed to play or touch, but to watch, which sounds rude now when I'm nearly 40 to say that out loud. But anyway, we used to play Jack the Nipper. Well, he used to play Jack the Nipper, which I've mentioned so many times on Swap Shop about Jack the Nipper. I remember playing Renegade. There was a skate or die, maybe.
Yeah.
Thundercat. No, not Thundercats. He-Man. As a kid, my brother and I would watch him and all that. And then obviously my first console, was a NES, an 8-bit Nintendo. So I never got any micros or anything until later in life. And thanks to the Warlock of Dudley, Si, he put me onto an Amstrad CPC 464 for free with the color screen. I haven't got it to show. I haven't sold it, by the way, so I have actually still got it. I have got it, I promise. And it came with a load of games. I got it for free locally from me, and so Si is the reason why I've now got into 8-bit micro. However, what I will say is thanks to you, Mr. Geezer, Mr. Zombie, The Lodge, and Mr. Retro 8-bit, I've been buying other bits like homebrew stuff, obviously, because I'm mainly I would say mainly because of Martin, but obviously Lee as well. I know, yeah, you fucking do get the Sorry. So yeah, I've got a couple of bits I can show. So I don't know if Lee, if you want me to show my Commodore 64. If not, we can. It doesn't matter.
No, you can show it if you want.
Because I haven't done a proper video. I've done a snippet. Look at Scott laughing, filthy animal. No, this is my Commodore 64 Terminator 2 Judgment Day edition variant. I don't even want to say. I bought this. I think it was 70 quid or 60 quid, and it was untested.
It is a bargain.
Yeah, and it's all in there. It's complete. It came with the box is in nice condition. It came with which for me looked like a hooky tape deck, but then it does say on there Commodore.
Yeah, I've got a couple of those in boxes. Yeah.
Oh, cool. It's all good. I don't know if you remember, Lee and Scott, when I got it, it wouldn't.
Sorry to interrupt. OSG just said time to show a proper computer. So
all right, okay, no, that's fine. I haven't got one of them yet. I will get one. I've been let down with one.
You have to get one of those. I will. The best looking micro there is.
Oh,
no doubt.
Yeah. Oh, but I had no sound, if you remember, guys. And I bought an RGB cable, didn't fix it. And then I'm going to say Paul, but any one of you guys anyway said to me, buy some fuses, just change the fuse. I changed the fuse and the fucking sound come on.
Yeah.
So and it works fine. Nothing's sticking or doesn't work. And, you know, it came with a couple of games like Power Drift, which...
Oh, classic, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a hit squad, so Paul wet himself twice. RoboCop, and Top Gun, and a few other games. But then I only got one boxed game like you just showed there, Bear. I can't even. Is it Addict to Fun? Addict to Fun? Is that Addict to Fun?
Oh,
Addicted to Fun.
Addicted to Fun, yeah. Addicted to Fun, yeah. That's a
games
compilation, isn't it? That, yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and they all work and they're great.
Best version of Bubble Bobble, that. Best
version.
I
know. It's awesome. And it sounds really good.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, RetroBear introduced us. Well, but again to Retro Refix Steve, who sold me that to make. Because sorry, that wasn't in the box set with the system. So he sold me that. He done me over, bent me over backwards and frontwards to filthy animal. But that game's terrible. I'm sorry. That game it doesn't make any sense. There's like a street fight. Your Street Fighter in T2 in the T1000 in the beginning, and I was like, I don't remember that in the film. I remember shooting him. But there is something that I have got that's really new to my collection, and I need to stop it, Scott. I need to show this because I've not. No. Listen, seriously, I've not shown this yet.
In a week.
No, I haven't. I've got this Commodore 64 disk drive. I don't even know what
Very nice.
Yeah, the box is a bit. Well, it's all there. But it's lost a bit. But I think I paid. I think that was £85 delivered or £90 delivered. I can't remember. I thought it was a good price. I mean, as much as the system.
I was going to say it cost more than the Commodore.
Yeah, it did. But going off what all of you guys said, they're like rocking horse. So
Yeah.
and it works fine. And obviously, I've got homebrews, which we'll talk about later. So anyway, so I'm really enjoying 8-bit stuff. I'm not going to lie to you. I did feel, and this is a very small knowledge of 8-bit. I do think that the CPC had better colours, and I remember I said that, and so I went yes, because I got the coloured screen as well, and I quite enjoyed that system. I need to buy some games for it. I've only got like a stack. I can't think of the name of it. I should have pulled it out. It came with a set of games that are not like a hit squad. It was like it came in a set.
Amsoft.
Yes, sorry, there we go. Which is hilarious because they were based in Brentwood in Essex, which is the next town next to me. Because I checked the back, I was like, and I went to where they are, but it's completely got a block of flats now, or big houses now.
Ain't everywhere.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. The homebrew stuff's really where I'm into, thanks to obviously you, Lee, and thanks to Martin, because Martin likes to spend other people's money.
I'm just glad you're enjoying it because some people might not, So
I prefer the discs, and that's only because I don't want to say they're low quicker. I just think they look cooler. I don't know. Maybe I'm being silly. For me, it looks a bit better in a strange way to me. I think it looks a bit nicer. I don't know, especially the Cytronic stuff, like which I've got. Like the discs look lovely. The way they've done them is really nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's thanks to Si. Thank you, Si.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting your journey on that one compared to everybody else's, and because I always say that, because a lot of people say to me about 8-bit stuff and games of that age. Oh, how can you play something like that? Oh, I've tried them, I can't get on with them. And you look at the back of the box, it's arcade conversion or arcade style graphics, and they're nothing like it. Well, yeah, that's what he was sold on years and years ago. Yeah, they don't look like that. They obviously don't look like that. They didn't look like them back in 1985, 86, 87. But try them at least. At least try them, and rather than just dismiss them out of hand. Yeah, because for a lot of us, that's how we started. That's how a lot of people got into gaming, and that's where a lot of people are going back to now and recapturing that. So it's good to see that you're doing that, because you're using that example and saying, you know what, people recommended this 8-bit stuff to me. You know what, I'm going to go out and get it, and especially when you get that the Amstrad for free with a bloody colour screen.
What's it? So I messaged me, goes, "Oh, Lee, you live in Essex, didn't you?" Obviously, fuck me, I talk about it all the time. There's some geezer in Chelmsford, is it near? I'm like, yes, it's 10 minutes up the road. And I went to the geezer's house, and he gave me all that, and he goes, "Oh, I've got a Sinclair ZX81, but he hasn't found it yet, because I think it's his parents' house. They've moved on, they've passed on, sorry, and he's moved in, and I think he's kind of going through all his stuff, and he's got some PlayStation stuff, which is not for this stream that I need to collect, but." And the first game I played, because I'm sure, again, one of you guys said to me, play Oh Mummy or All Mummy. I think it was Oh Mummy or Our Mummy.
Oh Mummy.
So yeah, and that was really cool. That was a really good game, actually, to be fair. And that was on the Amstrad. And And it's different how I need to get this right. The TV powers. No, hang on. The TV powers the keys, or the keys power the TV.
No, the monitor. The keyboard powers off the monitor, don't it?
Mm.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember how it goes because I remember there's only one plug, and I was like, "Am I missing a wire?" Because there's only one plug. Like, that was it. So, but yeah, that's me, boys.
Right. Okay. So let's move into our next topic. This one's going to be an interesting one to find out, and that is, what's your favourite genre of games on the micros? So, Scott, what's your favourite genre?
That's a really tough one, that is, because if we're going back to back in the day, I never had a genre that I was specifically into. I played loads of different games, and especially with micros back then, games were very unique. Yes, you had your Manic Miner clones, you had sort of basic platform games, but they were all so different and diverse. You had so many different games trying to find a genre. Trying to find that next new game. That's a difficult one. I can remember playing an awful lot of Ultimate Play the games. Most of them were games that I always thought were really good. Even, I was never a fan of the sort of isometric type games. I always struggled with them. Like, a lot of people say Over Heels is the best game, and I'm like, I never really could get on with it. But
there's Batman and Spin Dizzy as well in there, and Marble Madness, and
I always struggled with them. Text adventures, I can remember my mum loving playing those, and I was a bit like, ugh.
Yeah. you want graphics, don't you? You know, someone goes, "Oh, text game. What's that?"
But no, really, I was really thinking long and hard about this, and I've chosen a few games that I absolutely adored, and they're all completely different.
Oh, okay.
It's a really hard one, because I used to love the one button one-on-one fighter, like your way
one button.
IK Plus. Well, that's
IK Plus, Barbarian, all of those games were fantastic. I loved them.
Yeah.
You've got one button.
Oh, I need to get some of them. I remember Barbarian and IK Plus. I remember Martin playing it on the Amiga.
It's better on the Amiga. It's very good.
Barbarian with Wolf and the birds. That bird.
Maria Whittaker.
This was one of the games that I just loved this game. Me and my mates played it all the time, and it was all about who could chop each other's head off first. And that was the mechanic. That was the mechanic. You could be losing, have half a life left, and you just get that magical head chop in and win the match.
Is that ever released on a dare I say, a more powerful console system?
The Amiga.
The
Amiga.
Oh, great! I'll have to find it then, because that must be really good to play on the. I'm assuming it's good to play on the Amiga. I mean, I haven't got a clue.
I'm gonna do a Lee moment with the Commodore 64 drive.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say you've got to show that.
I've got to show it, ain't I?
Yeah.
Is it signed by Wolf?
I wish it was.
You should have said yes.
This is actually from Palace Software's headquarters.
Oh wow!
The guy that cleared their when they went bust, the guy that cleared their officers kept this. And, I've managed to get my hands on it, and it's really heavy.
It's a nice piece.
Lovely
piece. And for one of the most iconic games for me of the 80s, to have that in my collection, it's just amazing. So I'm really
hiding that. I didn't see that when I come your ass. Where you hiding that?
I've only just got it.
Got it recently.
Yeah, he hides all the expensive stuff when you come round. That's what.
Yeah.
5-finger.
Yeah, it's very nice. That, I mean, because you did a short on it, I think, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. The minute I saw that, I was like, wow, like that's not something everybody's got.
No.
Yeah. Very nice. Right. Okay. Let's go back to the question. Same to you, Russ. What's your favourite genre of games?
Oh well, I said it, during the first question that the ones we first played initially were sports games. So we played a lot of fourth and inches. Again, all sports, we used to love them. So fourth and inches American football. There's a dreadful game called On-Field Football, which I picked up a couple of 3 weeks back. It's still a dreadful game, but it's a memories attached to it. And then there were the leaderboard games, the golf games. I mean, they were absolutely fantastic. I mean, you have to sit there and wait for each. You take a shot and they have to load the background in, and
that's right. Yeah,
that.
did it all a bit at a time, didn't it?
Oh
But,
wow, really?
Yeah.
Oh, this is getting interesting.
At the time, it was most realistic golf game that you could have. Golf games at that point really had been nothing more than a little ball being flicked around the screen, and that was it. There was a proper golfer with a swing and the trees and the lakes and the bunkers and all that, and putting on the green, you'd have to look at where the stick was and the angle, where the sun, the shadow was going, and work out which was the best angle and the strength of the putt. And there was so much to it. It was fantastic. Emlyn Hughes' International Football, which is one of the great Commodore 64 games. Proper. You could put your names in as well. You could change all the names, put your mates in, have a school team, and that was.
Oh wow.
That was the height. That was the height of being able to do stuff back then. A friend of mine had Tracksuit Manager as well, which was my first football management game. That was really good.
Tracksuit Manager. Yeah,
absolutely brilliant.
That's cool.
I remember that.
Yeah, and it was based probably about late 80s. So you got Brian Robson and who else? The England team with that sort of Euro 88 World Cup 90 team in there. But it was really, really well done. And I played it again probably about 5-6 years ago, and I thought it's not bad. This, compared to something like the original Football Manager, which is practically unplayable now. It really is. But
I bet.
Yeah, that was really good. And then alongside the sports games, as I mentioned, the cricket, Grand Gooch's cricket as well, because we were cricket players for our local team for a number of years, so we used to play a lot of that. But the other games I used to really enjoy were platform games.
Yes,
and I don't know why, because they're the sort of game which you end up pulling your hair out on, and I don't know what it is, but I just loved those games. You think of something like Monty on the Run with all those weird enemies you have to encounter, and then you had the arcade conversions, and not just a standard platform like Bubble Bobble or New Zealand Story or Rainbow Islands, but games where you're having a go at platform, like Impossible Mission. That's very much like a platform game, because you're going from platform to platform, jumping and doing that. So platform games were really. I used to love those. My favourite genre game of all time is driving games, but I don't remember playing many driving games. The ones I think Scott mentioned, the ones I weren't particularly fond of was text adventures.
Yeah.
No, I could never really get into those at all. Anything to do with like role playing, and I've got the bundle I picked up all those years ago. There was quite a lot of games based around strategy, and a Spectrum bundle I got a few years back as well. Guy got a load of World War II strategy games in, like Blitzkrieg and Combat Links, and sort of games I'm never going to play. But they're just not my sort of thing. So platformers definitely, sports games definitely. I love arcade conversions of anything, good or bad, whatever. Shooters I've always struggled with, but I keep playing them because although I'm terribly, terribly bad at them, I can sit there and happily play a shooter and over again and not get very far. Like you did with R-Type, Scott, those months ago, and you played it. You're sitting there taking the mick out of you, but I'm sitting there thinking, I'm taking the mick out of you because I will be doing exactly the same thing. You were getting a little bit further each time. So, you might have a few cheap deaths here and there, but you were getting a little bit further. And that's what I like about them. Yeah, they're infuriating when you crash into something or a stray bullet gets you from somewhere and you get very annoyed, but then you just press the button and start again and keep going. So I could do it with that. But, there weren't many genres I didn't like. I could turn my hand at anything.
That's
all the genres then, pretty much. So,
I think all of us will have a similar answer though with the micros, because it was very much like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Ali just mentioned it can't be a bit dizzy. I wasn't a fan of that. Where you got to walk around and pick stuff up and then carry it over and drop it over there and then go and pick something else up. That was too much. Or where you had to map something out against nothing else doesn't exist these days. Where people used to send in maps of games to computer magazines so people could actually work out what the hell you meant to be doing on them.
Yes.
So that, picking up stuff and dragging it over and dropping it there, not puzzle games, but those sort of games, and text adventures I couldn't really stand. But yeah, it's terrible to say have a particular genre you like. I don't know. I like most of them.
Right, Lee. This will be interesting. This one.
Say RoboCop, Lee, because I know you played that.
Yeah, no. The ones I want to talk about is the homebrew stuff. We're talking later, because one of them is really fucking good.
What genre is it though? You can say that.
It's a shooting game, but it's Guns and Ghosts. I'm trying to think what I can. I've not played any sports games, but hearing what Bear says, and you know what, this is what I love. This is why I love YouTube. Same as when I watched it with Hobby Lodge. The nostalgia when Bear's like, yeah, because we could change our names. All my friends, all my school friends. You could, he's really, and that's what I'm thinking. Fucking hell, I could. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting some sports games. The golf games, obviously, I love golf anyway. I remember Decathlon, if that's on the C64. I'm sure it must be because I remember seeing it.
Yeah, Decathlon.
Oh, Daley Thompson Decathlon. I remember that. My brother had playing the shit out of that. I don't know. So like, obviously, Man Cave's one. That's like a platformer.
Yeah.
That's like, so I'm enjoying like so Rainbow Islands and Bubble platform like that. I've enjoyed that so far. I didn't enjoy I've got a very limited knowledge, boys, so my apologies. But what I have played, I've really enjoyed. I really enjoyed Organism, and what's this? You need to at least play some games on Hypersports.
Hypersports is great.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
I've played that on the arcade, probably though. Probably played Hypersports, which is number 2 in it to Track and Field in it. Konami's Track and Field. Is that the right way around?
Yeah, kind of. It's the.
I remember that.
Joystick killers.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. But
don't use a cheater joystick.
No.
It will break.
So, like Organism and Guns and Ghosts, I'm really enjoying. Man Cave, I'm really enjoying. I've I don't know. I'm still new, so I'm learning.
Yeah,
I'm only. I mean, like I said, RoboCop was okay. I just found it.
It's a broken game on the 64.
Yeah.
It was very tough. And I said to you earlier that I find the homebrew games are easier to play with. I've got my cruiser. I've got this in another color, but I think it's see-through blue. I don't know if it's a modded one. I bought it like years ago in a bundle of stuff. But I can't play that as well. This as well on that. But then with Guns and Ghosts and the other games, an Organism, I can play lovely with that joypad. So I don't know. I'm still learning, but I'm enjoying the platformy games, if you want to say that. I think the easier games for now until I kind of get used to it, you know. But
yeah, I think my answer would be kind of. I suppose there's 2 genres that I used to really like, and that was platformers, like you say. Bubble, Rainbow Islands, New Zealand Story. Although I would argue that Rainbow Islands and New Zealand Story were better on the Amiga, but I did used to play them originally on the 64. And also Mario Brothers. You used to have to hit the little power box in the middle. You know
what? I hated that game.
I like that.
That's why I never really liked Nintendo, because back then I hated how Mario slid slightly. When he jumped, he would slide.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that game.
Yeah.
That is one of my absolute. You pick a platformer up, and immediately from the way the main character moves whether you're actually going to. It's a good platform or a bad platformer, and you have to compensate for your jumps and your stopping when you're moving around. And something like New Zealand Story, Bubble, you don't have that problem. Rainbow Islands, but as soon as you get something just slides a little bit, you think or they don't. You have to give them a really. It's got to be a good jump rather than the short. You can't do the short jumps. It's got to be a big jump. That poke your eyes out with that.
I didn't mind that, Mario. But in saying that, I mean, at that age, I probably didn't know any better. If I went back to it now, maybe I wouldn't.
You would hate it, me, honestly.
Probably would, yeah. But it was them and the shooters. You had like Salamander, really good game. although there were some shooters I detested, but well, I don't know. Is it a shooter? I don't know. We'll get the game I'm thinking of in the next segment. But yeah, so you had that Commando. I mean, it's a vertical shooter, isn't it?
Oh, brilliant.
Great game.
So I've only played the Commodore 64 version, and although it's got a great soundtrack, there's no doubt about it.
Oh,
And enough's been said about that over the years. The game is a glitchy mess, and it saw some severe slowdown on the 64.
Yeah, there was a version that was released. I think it was a download because I've got it on my tape cart, and that version's been fixed. It doesn't do that.
Yeah, I've heard
it's
that.
It's a joy to play. It's a joy to play. It's really good.
I'll have to try and find that one out then.
Yeah. Have you got a C64 Mini or Maxi, Russ?
Yeah, I've got the Mini somewhere up on the shelf, tucked away somewhere in the box. So,
I don't know. I don't know if that runs PRG files or not. Does it? Do you know that?
To be honest with you, mate, I bought it because it was going cheap, and I thought I'll have it and just leave it there for the moment. So, but yeah, I mean, if I do actually open it, I shall use it for that purpose anyway.
If it does run PRG files, I can always send you it.
Okay, so, yeah, that'd be good. Yeah.
It's a joy to play. Like I know what you're on about because I've got it on tape as well, and I uploaded it on tape, and I was like, my God, I don't remember it being this bad, And then I looked on the tape cart, and I was like, it's on here. Let's have a look. Put that on. Plays fine. Perfect.
I even remember reading a review for it at the time. I think probably ought to be Zap, and they weren't very keen on it either. So when people say to me, "Oh, it's a great game," I go, "It's all right. It might be better on other systems." Well, I've never played it on other systems, so.
Oh yeah, this here, yeah. What OSG's put? Yeah, they did fix it, didn't they? That's right. Yeah, because it was one of the levels used to glitch right out, and so you didn't know where you was going.
Yeah,
I do remember reading that somewhere. When it comes to C64, if OSG says it, then he's spot on. So I'm definitely not going to argue. What's this? Commando music, just love new version 2016. I think it's so much better. Yeah. Is that the version then, Paul, that I'm playing then probably on the tape card, the 2016 version? Well, OSG will know because he's the one I got it off. He gifted me the tape card, and it's great. Really good piece of equipment. That I really enjoy playing that.
So that tape cart, Lee, does that instantly load the games? Does it?
Pretty much. I mean, it plugs in where the tape deck plugs in, and obviously it's got the SD card in it. And you load it up. You move the joystick down to the game you want, push fire, and a few seconds, and it's there.
Because I've got one of these things.
It's quicker than that. But the problem is
this jars me. It's a nightmare. You've got to put in stupid little stars and fonts to get the bloody games to load.
The problem with that is that the tape cart only runs PRG files, whereas the one you've got will load disk files, tape files.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So you are a little bit more limited with the tape cart, but it is quicker. Hang on, what's this? Paul's just put. If it has all the levels, well, I don't know. I ain't got that far. Has anybody? Dennis on the Amiga had a level you couldn't finish because the game was not finished. Oh, a jump you can't make. Yes, I remember that. Somebody did a video and they were pointing out problems with games, and that one come up. Yeah, they made the jump too big so that you couldn't make it because the game wasn't finished. Version got great sound, shows off all the city. Yeah, it certainly does. Yeah. Glitches. Right, okay, let's move on to the next bit. And that is which micro game was the hardest to play? Another tough one, because let's be honest, none of them were easy, were they?
And you'll find that a lot of games were deliberately impossible because they never coded the ends to them, or
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
No. That's a hard one. That is.
Cool. I'm trying to think now. No, I can't think of anything that doesn't jump out at me at the moment, apart from all of them.
I'll tell you what, I'll do my one first because this is one that I absolutely detest. Thrust. I hate that game. Do any of you guys like it? Because surely I'm not alone on this. That is an annoying game, isn't it?
I actually like Thrust.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't stand it. The controls are. Oh, especially because you have to pick things up, don't you? And then you've got to try and move. And I just used to just smash into everything. Like my younger self, like many times I thought about just punching the screen on it, you know. Oh, I hated that game, really did. A close second, although I do like the game, I still enjoy playing it now, even though it's really hard, is Ghosts and Goblins, or is it Guns?
Yeah.
Is it Ghosts and Goblins on the C64? I don't know. Whatever version it is on the C64.
It is Ghosts and Goblins.
Yeah. You know, rock hard, but a good game. You know, I still enjoy playing it. Because that's the thing, isn't it? You can have some games that you hate because they're hard, but then there are some games that are hard, but you still enjoy them.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
So, yeah, Thrust, I hate. I don't like it. I will never buy that. And Guns and Ghosts, hard, but I do like the game. So,
yeah, I'd probably go the same with Ghosts and Goblins, definitely, because I can remember really loving the concept of the game, seeing it in the arcades. I thought it played well on the Spectrum for the time. And it was a game I so wanted to be good at, and I couldn't. And I can remember one of my mates at school was really good at that game. He was like a master at it, and it used to anger me that he could get past like the first couple of levels and I couldn't get off the first one. It's such a challenging game, especially when you get to the moving platform, and then you've got to get across the sort of wind section, haven't you? And I can just remember dying there all the time. I could just never get past it.
I had a particular hatred for Spy Hunter because I used to spend half my time crashing off the side of the screen.
Yeah, that is another difficult one. Yeah, you're right.
That one springs to mind, and Fist 2 as well. When my mate got Fist 2, he was playing it. He said, "Oh, yeah, I'll have a go," and I was like, "Okay," and I just couldn't grasp it at all. And that's probably when my hatred of fighting games really started with that particular one, because I didn't like it. Having said that, I play something like IK Plus, and I'm quite happy doing that. But Fist 2, I really hate playing that game. But Spy Hunter, probably for me, thinking about it now, is probably the one I used to find the hardest. Anything with a slippery control which requires precision, is I'm a heavy-handed person, so I'm just not very good at those games where you've got to be a little bit sensitive with the controller and the joystick and be a bit accurate. I'm rubbish at things like that.
Star Gamers just said one I just thought of as you popped that up is the Dizzy games. I wanted to love the Dizzy games. I love the concept, the idea, but I had no patience for it. As soon as I got past the first little bit, I was like, I don't know what items I'm supposed to carry. I don't know what I got to drop. I don't know where I'm going. And it used to annoy me. And the times I used to load them games in, and I think I bought every single one of them that come out, and I just so wanted to like it, but I just had no patience for it and just gave up on them. So, I'd probably play Dizzy.
I agree. I like you. I've got most, if not all of them now. And as I said earlier, the whole concept of walking around to find something, to take it over there and swap it for that. Patience, Scott. You're absolutely right. It's like, can't do it. I was much more interested in playing and had much more fun playing things like fast food and Dizzy Down the Rapids, and Bubble Dizzy's a nightmare to play, but it was different.
Them side games were so much better with the Dizzy games, weren't they?
Exactly. I mean, Dizzy Down the Rapids. I mean, it's very Tubin-esque, but it's a cheap and cheerful Tubin-esque. It's quite nice, and it's good fun to play.
Yeah.
I mean, the Dizzy games for me, I mean, it's funny because I recently got the cart for the Evercade, and my opinion hasn't changed. I don't like them. Just for me, it's not that they're hard. It's not that they're they are bad, but they're bad in the sense that I find them boring. That's what it is for me. Like if when you go and have a gaming session, you don't want to just be walking around for a couple of hours, not really doing anything, do you? Like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a proper gaming session to me. Like, but each to their own. I just didn't like the Dizzy games.
Paul
But,
just put up, Retrobait just put up about Operation Wolf.
yes,
now I
he
love
did,
that game, and I've finished it many times. But if you want an Operation clone game, thinking about it, I think this is one of the hardest games I've ever played. I don't know if it's broken, but I can't get anywhere in it, and that is this Los Angeles Police Department.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
also known as LA Drug Bust. This is a fantastic game. It looks beautiful. It looks just like Operation Wolf, but you're on the streets fighting gangs. A great concept, an awesome game, but my God, it is so hard. I cannot complete the first level. It's that
Bloody
tough.
hell.
Yeah, it's really hard game.
Yeah, the OSG. I used to love Dizzy games, but not so much now. Yeah, I mean, I never liked them, but I would definitely say I dislike them more now than I did then. So it seems to come with age, I think. They were the precursor to the point-and-click games on the Amiga and early PC.
Yeah, kinda. I kind of see that. Yeah.
Right, Lee. Let's put the question back up.
Yeah, again, lack of knowledge. The worst game I played so far was probably Terminator 2. Top Gun was pretty poor. When I played Top Gun, I couldn't get on with that.
Has there ever been a good Top Gun game?
Well, I was just
Yeah,
thinking that.
I think so.
On anything? Yeah.
Afterburner. That was the
Look,
best.
pretty poor.
The Konami Grey handheld, Scott, that or the LCD.
Oh
one.
my God.
Yeah, that was the best one.
And Terminator was pretty poor. But everything else I've played has been okay, to be fair. But I'm still new into it. All of the homebrew stuff's been really good. RoboCop was pretty tough. Power Drift was okay, a bit awkward because obviously playing it with a joystick was a bit weird for me.
Which version is that? 64 version?
Yeah.
It's a good conversion. It's less confusing than some I played, because if you remember, the arcade game was a big sprawling thing with the track going over you and whatever. I played it on the Amiga. It was confusing as hell at the best of times.
Yeah, it is on
But
the Amiga,
Very
isn't it?
choppy on the Amiga, isn't it?
Yeah, and when you play it on the 64, it's obviously scaled down an awful lot, but it actually plays a hell of a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It's just awkward. I find it awkward with the joystick, but I'm like I said, to be honest, so far I think it's been okay, but I'm still new to it all, so I'm hopefully going to pick up some more bits when I'm on. I haven't really looked out for much recently, but homebrew stuff has been really good so far. So that's good to see. And then bundle wise, I'll see what I get. But yeah, so far Terminator 2 and Top Gun's probably the worst I've played, and I'm sure there's worse. Well, obviously there is with you guys, you know better. But yeah, that's probably my two, Lee.
Right. Okay. Right. Let's move into our next bit. Now, this one, I'm sure everyone's got an opinion on. Amiga Mini. So I picked mine up. I just so happen to have it to hand. And I've got my little USB stick in there. So I've got my WHD load and that on there. And you get a hidden game as well, don't you? Did you find that, Scott?
I haven't done the WHD load yet.
Oh, have you not done yours yet?
No, not
You
yet.
get like an extra game.
Ah.
Yeah. So I won't spoil it for you.
This is where mine will be at some point. There we go.
This is why I wanted to mention it, because I wanted to get your, you guys' views on it. Do you think it's good? Have you got one? Are you planning on getting one? So obviously, Scott, you've got one. So what's your views on it? Do you think it's a good system? Is it worth it?
To begin with, I was just going to buy the controller, the control pad, because I've got the C64 Maxi. And it was Paul, actually, RetroBait. He said to me, that's going to be compatible with that. And my one gripe with the C64 Mini and Maxi is that god-awful joystick.
Yeah.
There's a delay. It's too wide for your hand. It's awful.
Yeah.
And you feel like it's going to snap. So that was my main interest, was that pad. But then my Amiga 1200 stopped working. It's got a grey screen, and I thought, this ain't going to be cheap. This is going to be an expensive fix. So that's all packed away. And that night, I was so angry, I just pre-ordered the Amiga Mini, and wow, I weren't expecting much of it, if I'm being honest, but I have been blown away by it, and I've not stopped playing it. I think it's awesome.
Yeah. Russ,
Hmm.
have you got one? Are you planning on getting one?
Well, I haven't got one, and I was toying with the idea a few weeks back, thinking of doing so, but I can't justify spending the money on it at the moment just for it to sit on the shelf, because I would use it, but I've got a 500, I've got a 1200 myself, I've got loads and loads of games, a mixture of original, but mostly all the backup discs, and for so many titles I've got, I just got all the games I ever need for it. I like the concept of it. I'm not overly keen on a lot of the stuff that they put on there as the stuff they gave away with it, the games they dished out. I didn't think there was a few strange ones on there for my liking, and some good games on there. I like to say I probably will get one at one point, because I've watched a lot of videos, I've heard a lot of people say a lot of good things about it. So yes, at some point, but not until the price drops a little bit. But I think it does drop. I think Amazon, I saw it 105 on Amazon the other day, which is down about 15 quid on where it first came out. So it's dropped a little bit. So I think if we get down to maybe the sub £90 mark, I might probably look at it and give it a proper go.
Yeah.
But it's a system I grew up with, so I've got a lot of fondness for it. But having got a lot of the original hardware, I'm still in two minds at the moment. But all success to it. I mean, I can't find many people saying a bad thing about it, which is brilliant. Because you do wonder sometimes when these things are made. As you mentioned, the C64 Mini and the joystick, which wasn't great on it, and some of the other catastrophes that they've had in the mini consoles, or these retro rebuilds and what have you, and to have it really out there and retailing very, very well. So I'm pleased to see it's done well, and I hope we get more stuff like it. But at the moment, I can't really justify it.
Yeah, that's good. This is why I wanted to mention it, because this is the thing. Everyone's got a different take on it, haven't they?
Yeah.
Obviously, Lee, you've got. Have you got one Amiga, or is it two? I can't remember.
I've now got one Amiga 500. The one I had doesn't work anymore, so that's long gone. Which I picked up recently for £30, which was or 20 quid. £30, I think it was £30 bargain, which works fine. Martin's still burning on his arsehole about me getting that for so cheap. And I've got a lot of games for the Amiga, because my big brother had an Amiga when I had my SNES and Mega Drive, and I played the Amiga quite a lot. I played Narc and Nightbreed, obviously Turrican 2, Speedball 2, Flood, Cannonball, Cannon Fodder. There's so many games. Championship Manager, I spent an hour. Sensible Soccer. So I am going to buy. I said this before. I said I'll wait till the one with the keyboard, when you can actually use the keyboard, will come out, like the Maxi one. And then I read an article saying that they will only make the Maxi once. No, he doesn't. He loves it. They will only bring out the Maxi once they've sold enough of the minis.
Yeah.
So I will buy a mini, but I'm in no mad rush. Like Bear said, if I bought it tonight, it would only just sit in the box. I wouldn't even play it yet. So to spend 100 quid just to sit there doesn't really see the point. But I will get one. And then I will buy a Maxi. I need to get a Commodore Maxi, or a Commodore Mini as well, just to have it. Just as one of those kind of things. I think it's a great bit of kit. I understand what OG is saying, but what he said there, I think, proves the point. Who wants to buy a big clunky PC to play the old emulate games on? I'd much rather have that small emulator. Think about it. If you think about it, like my big brother, he loves gaming, but he doesn't want all of the stuff. So he's got a mini Mega Drive, a mini SNES, a mini NES, a PC Engine, a PlayStation, a Commodore, and an Amiga, all minis. He's got them on one little table, like a little coffee table, all lined up, and he's away.
Yeah.
So as a nostalgic fuel, It's so much more easy to grab on them, isn't it? And it looks the part as well. It looks lovely.
But
to be
I mean,
fair.
don't you think that the way they're made and manufactured and marketed like that that's the market they're looking for? People who don't want to go and do all this shit like we do here, and
100%.
we all do.
Because he doesn't want to.
Yeah, it's a much easier way of doing it. And but I'll go back to what I said earlier. I like the rigmarole of changing the discs. I'm not going to sit there and play Monkey Island 2 with 12 discs.
No,
probably not. But there's a part of me was thinking, oh, go on, do it just for just get your other disc drive out and have 2 set up and keep swapping the discs like you used to in the old days. But there's a nostalgia to it, and I think as Rach mentions there, she's assuming nostalgia will be part of the system. And buying a system rather than just emulation, and I agree with that. But I like the original stuff.
Yeah.
I think the minis sort of like is somewhere in the middle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like people, like what OSG said, you can get a nice PC, emulators. You can get one of these Chinese portable emulation devices and do everything, but it's very sterile. It's a very sterile way of playing these games. I prefer to either have the original hardware and play it like Russ is saying. But these Amiga Minis and Commodore Minis and all of this, that kind of touches on that nostalgic thing in here, doesn't it? And you kind of feel, well, it is emulation, but it's okay. That's how I feel about it. Anyway.
It's legal. It's legal emulation, if you know what I mean. Like it's legal because you can buy it in the shop.
I have no problem with emulation at all. I think if people want to do that, that's totally, great. When I first started, playing retro games again back in this before I started collecting, I had a laptop with an emulator, and I got NES, and I got SNES, and I got N64, and that was great. And then for some crazy reason, I started actually buying the physical stuff, even though I got them all on the laptop. But because I wanted the physical stuff, because I'm a physical media collector as opposed to having them downloaded. But I don't, look. I don't look down. That's the wrong way of saying it. But I don't look unfavourably on people who want to go that route. That's fine, and that's where these systems are absolutely ideal. You walk into a shop and think, oh, Mega Drive Mini or A500 Mini or whatever. I used to have one of them. Oh, it's only that much. Oh, great! It's got Chaos Engine on the back. I'll get hold of that, and that's what it's going to appeal to. And then from that, probably some people may think, well, you know what? You can do the WHD load if you don't have to do that. Or, maybe I might get one of those systems and see how much they are and actually buy a proper big one like you used to have. And it leads to that route as well. So, yeah, they have their place. And I think they're great. I've got most of them. Most of the minis that came out.
Same as me. Same as me. I don't have a problem
off the PlayStation one, obviously.
Oh no, I've got it, but I've never.
You have that one, Russ. It's just sitting there.
It's just sitting there, mate. It's paying you rent for it.
It's got its own room now. I'm charging it rent and board.
I'm glad we can laugh about this.
But no, going back to the minis. See, like we're saying that, but I'm a massive collector. But I own all the minis. Like Hyper Trigger X is saying there, the Astro City Mini V. And I'm like, I've got to get it. But I've got the Astro City Mini, but I need the V. Do I need it?
Yeah, but
I will get it.
That's the reason I bought the PC Engine Mini, was because the likelihood of me ever owning one of those is remote. And it's probably the one system I would like to get that I haven't got, just to say I've got one. But for me, that was absolutely ideal because I thought I can buy that. I don't need, that's got enough games on there that I don't know about, or ones I do know about, and the rest I haven't got a clue about, for me to satisfy my curiosity to play those.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's kind of where I'm coming at it from with the Amiga Mini, because I had the 500 plus, and I got that off my uncle. Spent a lot of time playing games with him, like Flashback, Beneath a Still Sky, various others like Syndicate, Cannon Fodder 1 and 2. And then I got the 1200 because he emigrated to America. So I got the 1200 that he had at the time. Now, like an idiot, obviously I got rid of them. But the thing is, I know I'm never going to get another 1200 because I'm not paying that money. And in experience,
how much is an Amiga 1200 now? What, £300 or £400?
I think it's more than that.
Yeah.
You're talking more 5, 6, aren't you, these days?
Really?
I think the last time I spoke to somebody about it was probably in the last 6 months at one of the independent shops, and they said they just sold one for about 400.
Wow.
Okay.
And I got mine for free.
There you go. So the Amiga Mini, its appeal goes even higher, because I tell you what, since I showcased that in the Retro Realm shop, the interest I've had in the Amiga Mini was mental. I had that playing in the shop for 10 days, and the interest, I had way more people more interested in that than I did the Mega Drives, the Super Nintendos, everything else I've had set up in there. None of the interest in what I got in that Amiga Mini. It was crazy.
I can't stop playing it. I'm on it all the time at the moment.
Yeah.
Every free time I got, I'm on it. But this is the thing. I knew I was never going to get what I originally had, you know?
Yeah.
So just can't justify the
That's
money.
just convenience, like the everyday, like what Russ touched on is not everyone is mad like we are and have CRTs, monitors, all these games, constantly chucking money at them when they're going wrong. The average day Joe just wants to pick that thing up, get a bit of nostalgia, plug it into their modern TV. They don't care about having a PVM or a CRT TV. They just want to plug it into their living room telly and have a quick nostalgic blast in the evening on either an Amiga, a Mega Drive, a Super Nintendo, whatever minis they want.
Yeah, and get their mates around and say, "Oh yeah, remember this?"
Exactly.
You know. Yeah.
I mean, the other thing for me, I live in a flat, so you think how much room a 500 or a 1200 takes up. A mini works better for me anyway.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, most people I know that have had them have had issues like reliability issues. So that was another thing. It was like, well, even if I did get hold of one, I'm going to be forking out all the time to get the bloody thing repaired.
Well, like me, the Amiga 1200, mine was fully restored. It's had everything done to it. It's got accelerators in it. It cost a lot of money. And now it's got a grey screen. And I'm like, that's going to be triple figures, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, oh my God, that's more money I'm going to be shelling out on the Amiga.
I think the Amiga, it's capacitors on the Amiga which tend to leak. That's I've been advised to get mine checked out by my resident technical expert. So I'll have to try and take mine apart, because they've been sitting dormant for a few years now. So I need to see if what condition they're in. They worked last time I used them, so I'm fairly confident. But that was quite a while back.
Yeah. I mean, you had problems with one as well, didn't you, Lee?
With my Amiga?
Yeah, you had one that didn't work, didn't you?
Yeah, so I bought one. It was working fine. I left it in my conservatory, and it got quite warm in here. I played it, and when I played the next day, it didn't work anymore. It turned on a dark grey screen, which meant something with one of the chips. I sent it to Retro Passion. That's Steve Clifford. Steve Clifford, I think his name is. And he said the amount of time and effort it's going to cost to find the issue. He said it's not worth it. So unfortunately, I had to get out of that one, which was a shame because it was in really nice condition. But then this one pulled up, the one I've got now, which is so that was a 500 plus, the other one, with a 1 meg upgrade on it. And then I bought this Amiga A500, which doesn't have the battery. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Right, cool, good. Sorry. And then if you remember, I was messaging you guys because I remember the light was green when you turned it on and then orange when it was loading. But this one, I was at the lady's house that I stole it off, obviously. When I plugged it in and I turned it on, the light was flashing green and red. And I was like, well, red must mean it's fucked. And then, anyway, so I got it for cheaper. And then Sai and the boys were like, nah, the early ones flash red, like when they were loading. And I was like, all right, well, I've just done that person out of a few quid then. It worked fine. And it does work fine. I 1 meg upgraded it and I still haven't actually tested it if it actually works, but I've done that.
How'd you do that? Put an upgrade in it and then not test it?
I know. Listen, mate, don't. You listen, Lee, you know me, mate. I'm shocking. But yeah, it's like you were saying. So I will buy an Amiga Mini, but I will still use the original hardware. And it's the same with the Commodore. I love the idea of the SD card. What you're talking about, Lee, what you've got, and you know, and what Scott's saying. But I think Martin has hit the nail with a fucking sledgehammer, and I love the idea of putting in the disc, flopping down the little button so it locks, and pressing the star and whatever it is, whatever the bloody command is. I love that. And I've got no nostalgia, and I think that's awesome. Even with the tape, I don't mind the tapes, but even that's cool. Pressing play, and you're waiting for it, and like that's part of the fun, I think. And I can see why a lot of people have, you know, a lot of love for these systems. But the discs, I think the discs are awesome, especially in Amiga. When you put them in, it goes, it makes a little noise when you put it in, and you know, like I think it's awesome.
Yeah, and you get that sort of like,
I love it.
Loading,
when you
didn't
put,
you?
yeah, like when you put a dodgy disc in, it makes some fun.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's great. You know,
Yeah, but they all sound different, don't they?
They do.
You listen to each one, and then you play it that many times, you can actually remember the cycle and noise it makes.
Yeah.
And there was also, as you said, there's that one where it doesn't work. It goes, you know, and it's just like, I mean, Side mentioned there about finding the Amigas going to the skips. Yeah, that's where my original one ended up.
Oh wow!
He
finds
a lot of stuff in Skip's side, does though, doesn't he? I mean,
yeah,
I can't
he does.
remember what it was. Was it an Amstrad he found or
And a TV? He found remember that TV? The Sony TV was left on the floor, and he had a picture of it.
He's a bin diver.
Pedro, when I came up to Scott for Scott's birthday last year, Pedro gave me 2 of those old disc boxes. You get like, you know, you kind of put them in.
Yeah.
And there was like at least 90 discs. All right. I went through them and about 4 worked. No, they didn't really. No. They worked. But a lot of the ones that didn't work, the noise it made, I was like, oh my God, it's going to break the system. So him saying it can brick it. But yeah, again, that's part of the fun. What Bear said earlier, putting a game in, will it work? But I've got this, Cindy Steve made me, he goes, you've got to buy this. Like a plastic 3D printed disc holder what opens the
discs,
slide, and you spin it. You spin the actual, I ain't got the name of the thing, the like the little metal bit, and you clean the discs. And everyone I've done has worked.
They're brilliant. They're absolutely brilliant. I have one for my Spectrum.
Yeah.
They're awesome. Yeah.
He was saying to me, oh, if it doesn't work, that'll fix it. I'm like, well, okay, what do you mean? A bit of cloth and a spinny wheel. And then, every game that didn't work has worked. So, yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool.
I mean, my 500 came from a Carl boot.
Nice.
And it came with a load of games. But the problem was the games hadn't been looked after properly. So I took it home and set it all up and trying to put the discs in. And there were loads of games from my youth in there. I remember trying it. And I thought, and it made that noise where it's not working. What's wrong with this? You know, the drive, and I could try another disc in there, and that one worked. Okay, so what's wrong with this one? And then when I actually pulled the metal flat back, a lot of the discs has actually perished.
Oh, right.
So you can actually hold it to the light and see through it. You know, in the end, it's like Raiders of the Lost Ark. You know, you're holding that up and get the sunlight coming through it. And I thought, I must have thrown about 35, 40 discs away.
Oh, wow.
That pains me to do that, but they would be on repair. You can't sort those out. You know,
I had a similar situation. I bought a bundle a few years ago, and the guy had kept it in a shed. And the games that were at the bottom of this box survived, but everything else, the sort of spindle in the middle had just rusted.
Yeah,
solid. They were just
mad.
And there was some absolutely cracking games in there, and they were just ruined.
I know it's pain me to do that. I've got put them all together in a big. It must have been about that, 2 of those piles about that thick.
Yeah,
and I thought they've got to go. They've got to go.
And it's funny when you consider, like, people used to chuck tapes for the like the 8-bit micros all over the place, and like like you've had it, Scott, where one was sitting in water for like a month.
I did,
and it still worked.
Yeah,
but the discs that come out later for the Amiga, they perish so easy. That's the weird thing, isn't it?
Yeah, Renegade, 35-year-old game, sat in a box of water in a jiffy bag because the postman decided to chuck my post in a box that, had nothing to do with me. And yeah, I done a video on it. I just couldn't believe it. I dried it out. I done the old radiator trick, dried all the tape out, dried all the inlay, and it loaded. I couldn't believe it. Unbelievable.
Built to last, mate. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's funny, isn't it? Because I mean, like I say, you think they're much older than Amiga discs, but I mean, from what I can tell, what people tell me is they're very sensitive to temperatures, aren't they? That's the thing with the Amiga discs.
Well, I said to you, we had this conversation about tapes that seized, and we were on Swap Shop when we cut the weeks ago. And I said we only play 8-bit games during the winter when we've got the heating on because we don't use the radiator during the summer, do they? So
yeah. Well, that's what you do, isn't it, Scott? Is to if they get stuck or whatever, you just stick them on the radiator for a bit, don't you? And then they
Someone
unseize.
told me that years ago because I had a lot of tapes that you could hear them straining in the tape deck where they I don't know, they sort of get sticky and they just stick together. And yeah, someone said, "Oh, put them on the radiator overnight or in an airing cupboard if you've got one." And I tried it, and my God, every single tape I think I've done it to, bar one, has worked.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah,
Zombie approved.
Just saw that comment. He can't help himself, can he? It's like crack to him.
Phil, I'm gonna have to have a word of his missus.
5 games during this stream.
I'm gonna have to have a word. I'm gonna have to have a word of his missus. This is filth. This is Lee. Walk down when you've done this stream. Walk down the road and have a word of his missus, mate. It's filth.
Well, when I said to him, "What's your missus think of all these games coming through?" He said, "Ah, it's all right. We don't talk." That's what he said. Because I mean, at one point he must have been getting about 10 homebrew games a week dropping through the door. So I mean, if that was my missus, I'd be getting, "Oh, you spending money again?"
See, that's the advantage of having like the Hobby Lodge or Retro Bait Shed is the missus don't see what goes in them. So that's quite a good idea.
It'd be even better if you had your own postcode, wouldn't it? You could get it delivered directly there, and then you wouldn't see them at all.
You know that advert where it says 3 letters of your square of your postcode or some new way of getting your exact location. That's what Hobby Lodge has got. And what do you call it? Retrobait. Hobby Lodge is the train goes past, they chuck it out the train window onto his lodge. So,
But it's good if you have somebody, your other half, partner, wife, boyfriend, whatever, husband, etc. They take an interest in it, and I that's why I like coming back and showing Claire what I've picked up, and even if she doesn't like get any of it and think, what have you bought that for? It's still fun to do it, and it's nice if you got someone who understands it, so it helps as well.
Yeah,
this is the thing I get with my missus, because like she'll moan at me about spending money on games, but whenever she sees something, have you got this one? Is this one you want? It's like, how can you do that? How can you moan at me for spending money, but then you go to me, do you want this one? You're becoming part of the problem then, aren't you?
You are all right. You're all right, but no, it's nice to have someone to share it with, and
no, it's good.
It's fun, especially when they recommend stuff to you. You go, oh, yeah, I'll be interested in that sort of thing. It's almost like you're getting permission to do something. Have you seen this? Yeah, okay, I'll go and buy it then.
Yeah, I mean, it was like when I went up to the shop to see Scott. I mean, the missus surprised me with that. I didn't even know we was doing it, and I just got this question like, "How much money you got spare?" And I'm thinking, "Oh, what's she nicking money off me for?" and then she said, "Well, do you want to go out to see Scott?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, can do." And I mean, I didn't spend a massive amount of money, but I spent a bit, and she was fine with it. So, I think she pulls my leg half the time, to be honest. Right. Shall we move into the last topic? So I dare say Lee's itching to get into this part because this is mainly what you've been buying.
Yeah.
Right. So homebrew. We'll go to Scott first. Have you bought anything homebrew? Anything homebrew you want to discuss?
Oh, I've bought so much. Obviously, I've been playing quite a lot of the Spectrum Next sort of homebrew games. But one of my favourites is, and I keep playing it loads, is Redshift on the Spectrum.
Nice.
I still can't believe
about that one. Yeah.
I still can't believe this game runs on just your standard 128K specky. It's so smooth, a brilliant shooter, because the Spectrum had Flying Shark and Slap Fight, which were really good ports on the specky. But this just takes it to another level. It's a tremendous game. It was Ginger Hippie Gaming that recommended this in a video ages ago, Pentacorn's Quest. I'll often put that on, and each time I load this in, it's a great game, and you get that little bit further every time you play it, which draws you in, you know. So homebrew games, I'm loving them. I've just ordered another load today off Bitmap Soft, so hopefully they'll turn up soon. And yeah, I'm all for the homebrew. I love it. I think they're great, and the likes of Retro Bait and Martin now, the Hobby Lodge, and Ginger Hippie Game, and you yourself, Lee, you're inspiring me because you seem to hear about these games, and I'm going to them up. Definitely.
Yeah.
The one I got off your video, actually, I think it was this one, Xenoblast.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, good game.
Playing that, I grabbed that. Great game. I've also got all the. I've got the limited edition Mighty Final Fight, which was released. There was only 20 copies of it. With
it was a limited release, wasn't it?
Yeah. Or whatever. I've got that.
It's got a pink tape in it. That one.
Yes. Yeah. I'm a sucker for it. I am really bad with the homebrew. I had a little bit of a time of not buying it, because I had a few issues with some Spectrum Next games that I'd purchased. And I thought, you know what, I've had enough of this. Until this situation's sorted, I'm not buying any. But that's been sorted, and I'm back buying it all again.
Yeah. Funny thing was that game, when you did eventually get it working, it wasn't really worth playing in the first place, was it?
It was absolute garbage. Actually, I'm going to show it so no one buys it.
Show it. People need to know not to buy this.
This is a public announcement. Do not buy this game. It took 4 months for it to work. 4 months I had to wait for this game to work. And then when it worked, I kind of wished it didn't. Because the anticipation of playing the game far outweighed actually playing it. It's awful. It's kind of like Mr. Do, Dig Dug, Boulder Dash, that sort of game, but just done very poorly.
I like Dig Dug. That's a good game, though.
Yeah, Dig Dug's way better. Play it on the 2600 over that. Oh god.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it, how much did you pay for that one, Scott?
I think it was 18 quid, 17.99.
So you paid 18 quid for a worse version of Dig Dug.
Yeah.
That's the way to look at it.
Yeah. You know, you can get Boulder Dash for a couple of quid on the specky, can't you? And that plays a hell of a lot better than that. But there's been some fantastic ones. Bikers Deluxe, absolutely fantastic. If you love Hang On or Super Hang On, an absolutely awesome Spectrum Next game.
You'd have to do a video on that one, Scott, because I haven't seen that yet.
I did do I can't remember if it was a live stream or a Spectrum Spectacular. I did focus on that. And then Warhawk by Rusty Pixels.
Oh, that looks good.
Tremendous. Absolutely beautiful game. Brilliant soundtrack, brilliant graphics.
Looked Amiga looking that, I thought. When you played that, it looked very Amiga.
It does, yeah, totally. I can't remember the company, but this one was really good. This was on the Spectrum Next site. The guy advertised saying it was limited, and that's QB, which is a Qbert clone. Yeah. Absolutely love Qbert, and this.
I like Qbert. Yeah,
this plays tremendous as well. So me slating one Spectrum Next game, I've got a dozen here that are awesome. You know, I really enjoy them.
Right, Russ, what's your opinions on homebrew, or do you have any? Or
well, no, I'm not going to beat about the bush on this one, but I don't want to say it as trying to be controversial or something. But it's never appealed to me. That might be very strange. Somebody who's got a lot of games, but I think with my micro interest, I've got the nostalgia for the old games. And I feel this with other systems well, where they've brought out new games, like, brought out new Dreamcast game, Mega Drive games, etc. My nostalgia, my enjoyment is going back to the games I used to play all from that time. So when I read about homebrew years ago in Retro Gamer magazine, I was really sort of intrigued. Oh, they're making new games for old systems. Sounds quite interesting, but I don't want to say you guys are all into it, and obviously, other people who are in the chat are into it as well. But I don't get the same buzz about a new 64 game or a new Amstrad game or a new Spectrum game, whatever. It just doesn't interest me as much as it appeals to other people. Because my love is nostalgia as opposed to new games for old systems. But what I do appreciate about them is the fact that, as you talked about those games there, and from what people have told me about the games, is that they are, and what I've seen on YouTube, other people's videos, is they are tremendously well done. And the fact that people are doing this again now, they're going back to their roots, coding, not in their bedrooms, but they're spending time creating games, and probably they're creating these games with more time than developers would have had ages ago to put games out, because you've been on deadlines. Whereas now, somebody brings out a new Commodore 64 game, they can bring it out when they're ready, and when it's done, you can maximize the power of the system that you probably wouldn't have had the time to do years ago. And therefore, I like a lot of the games. I've seen quite a lot of the games I quite like the look of, but I've not played them. And it's probably a rabbit hole I don't want to be going down, but I won't say I wouldn't dip my toe into it every now and again. There have been a couple of games, I don't know what the titles were, I looked at and thought, well, you know what, that looks really good. But it doesn't grab me as much as it does, but I like to see this area developing and growing as it is, and thinking, well, that's a good thing. But these games don't excite me as much as, say, an old game from 35 years ago. I'm more interested in that rather than the modern old games, I suppose is the best way to describe them.
Do you reckon that's because, Russ, you didn't have the micro growing up? Because for me, some of the nostalgia with getting the homebrew games is the fact that I'm buying a brand new old game, if that makes sense. Like the excitement I get over paying £7 for a homebrew Spectrum game is mental. I get more excitement and more buzz off that than I do a £500 Mega Drive game, which is just mad.
Yeah. No, you could be right, Scott. I can't say whether that's a definitive answer or not, because around that time, late 80s, I was buying Amiga games anyway, so I had that sort of thing. But yeah, it may have a little bit to do with it. But to me, again, it's like, well, that was then. This is now. Why would I want to go and buy a brand new Commodore 64 game? Yeah. Now, when I'm more interested in getting the old ones now, I don't know. It's a strange thing, Like I said, I'm not running it down at all whatsoever. I think it's fantastic that people are doing that, and not just the micro system, but other system consoles as well. I think it's great that people are actually taking the time to bring out brand new software and new games, especially with this interest in these markets now. But for me, it just doesn't have the same appeal. I think, well, Commodore 64 has got a lifespan of whenever it was, from 1983 to 1993. That's it there. That's that lifespan there.
Yeah. No, I get you. Yeah.
That's really where I'm coming from on it. But listening to you guys talk about it and other people mention it and videos I've seen, I completely get why some people go into it. You mentioned that Redshift game, and the amount of people who've spoken to me about that or I've heard about is unbelievable. It's as if this is a stellar, brand new PlayStation or Xbox title people talk about. No, it's actually coming out for, this system from 40 years, 30 odd years ago. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think challenge accepted, Bear. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy you my favourite homebrew game, one that I play. I love this game, Man Cave. I'm going to buy one. I'm going to send it to you.
Nice.
You should play it and just see what you think. So I will get one and I'll send it to you.
Well, if you do that, then, mate, I'll make sure I will do a video about it, and I'll do a proper review.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be good. That'd be good.
I cordially accept your challenge, sir. Yes,
Yeah, definitely, because I love that game. I think it's
Yeah.
a great game.
that's very very good, mate. I'll be very keen to do that. Yeah.
Cool. Right, that's it. Challenge accepted. Right. Right, Lee.
Right. Well, the homebrew for me is massive because I think, Alex, you start gaming up, hit the nail bang on the head. You're pushing the system, that 80 system, to its absolute limits. I mean, I've only got 2 here. I've only got 4 homebrews. 4. I got 4 home. Yeah, 4. But these are the 2 I was playing these over the weekend, actually. Organism. This is the Premier Plus edition. So it comes in a big box. I mean, I'm going to get loads of glare, but it plays. It's like Aliens, basically. Chef, I heard you skills of the Street Fighter Legend. Had you chewed off your fingers? No. That's another stream, dear chap. The old Street Fighter one. This plays like an alien game, we should have got in those 80s times. But the thing is about this, the way that Cytronics have done it, and this is the disc version. So you've got like the little disc and then like the little sleeve. And it's got cutscenes, proper cutscenes. The music is so atmospheric. I was like proper bricking it when I was playing it. It was like, I mean, I don't know. You can see the graphics are well. Hobby Lodge has done a video on this.
Yeah.
This game is
a great
awesome.
game.
I'm telling you, this one, Scott, you have to get, and I'll tell you why. Guns and Ghosts, because an eagle-eyed person will see they've nicked the front cover from Supernatural.
Oh yeah,
that is series 1 of Supernatural.
Yeah.
And the 2 characters, there's cutscenes in this. They drive around to cemeteries and kill the ghosts and the goblins and all the monsters. They drive around in an old American muscle car because you see the cutscenes, all right? And then if you've seen series 1 of Supernatural, 2 brothers, I'm trying to get out now. One of them in this game. So you've got George and Trev. George and Trev.
George and Trev.
That's what it says. One uses a shotgun, and one uses his mind power. Because in the TV show,
right, yeah,
he's got like some abilities. And this game is awesome. Like honestly, Bear. This is.
So are they available on tape, Lee?
Yes, they are. The tape versions are like £4, Lee, £5.
No. On Cytronic, they're $8.99.
Oh shit! Sorry.
And you get a digital,
more money then.
You get a digital download as well.
Say?
You get a digital download with them too.
Yes, you do. You get digital download. This costs this. I mean, this is lovely. This is really. This cost me £15. This one. But the music, like, please bear after the stream. Sorry. Google Guns and Ghosts and listen to the music.
I will do.
Like, it's unreal. The cutscenes, I couldn't get over it. Like when I watched Martin play it, I was like, "What's he playing this one? It's awesome." And the game is really good. It gets tougher as you go in the levels. You got a shot if you're Jules. You obviously got the shotgun, and you got two shots in the shotgun, and you have to reload. As you reload, it takes a couple of seconds, so you need to dodge the monsters when you reload. And then the more you level up, the quicker your gun gets to reload and it gets more powerful. And what I love about Cytronics as well is that the cases are like all uniform. So on your shelf, on like Hobby Lodge's shelf, he's got about 90 of them. There's a few more. I think RetroBear told me to get Sam's Journey, which I definitely will get. I've got Man Cave and the Hawk's Mill one. They're the 4 I've got. And they're all disc.
Isn't Sam's Journey a cartridge?
Yeah, it's expensive.
I don't know.
I think it works out about £50 because you got to get it sent from another country, I think, haven't you?
Listen, it's one of them, innit? Look, when I watched Paul, not Paul, sorry, I'm lying to you now. Paul told me about it, but I watched Martin, Evening Rash. I watched it on Martin's stream. I'm sure it was Martin's stream, and it was like Kid Chameleon. He was transforming into a ninja, a pirate.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, honestly, I was shocked. Like,
See,
honestly,
now I'm interested because Kid Chameleon, I love that
awesome game. Kid Chameleon is well underrated.
It does look like a good game. It really does.
Yeah. So I need to buy some Amstrad games as well, but obviously I'm
Oh,
just
there
waiting.
you go. Hobby Lodge has Sam's Journey on disc, Lee. There you go.
Oh, is it disc?
Oh, there you go.
Right, there you go.
I think the disc looked just nicer.
Martin, how much was it on disc to get it, if you don't mind me asking?
So yeah, because these are they're 15 quid, these ones, and they're really nice. And I want to get some Amstrad games 464 once I get my games room all together.
You've got to get Relentless for the Amstrad. Good game.
Relentless.
Shoot 'em up.
I don't know that one.
It's a side-scrolling shoot 'em up. 8-bit Rage and RetroBear have done videos on them.
Oh yes. In that case, I do know it. Then I'm gonna buy. What was the one?
People say that the Amstrad couldn't scroll, but it's fine with that game. It looks perfect.
Oh right, okay.
So,
Hobby Lodge Mark was
50 quid.
showing. That's why I don't mind paying that. Was it the Aviator, that helicopter game? Aviator? No.
yes, yeah, it
Was
was
it?
Aviator. He
That
kept
looked
calling
good.
it Avatar, didn't he?
Yes, it was
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah.
That will look awesome because the way, and the music. I can't get over the music. Man Cave's music is,
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
But
And the little jokes that come up in between each level. Like, a good wife. Oh, what was it that says now? Something about I can't remember. Forgives her husband. That's it. A good wife forgives her husband when he's done wrong, and it's things like that that come up in between each level.
I only got that because of you, Lee. So
I love that game. Like, this is the thing. I like the old games, but if people say to me, "What's your favourite homebrew game?" It's that one every time. Because, like you say, the music is so good on that.
You have done a video on that, haven't you, Lee?
Yes, I have.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, I have seen it. When you said about the quotes, I can remember watching that, thinking, "What?"
Yeah, because also you got the Wi-Fi logo on the main menu, but instead of Wi-Fi, it says wife.
And again, and I think that's why I think it's so cool, because it's that even though they're old looking games, they're like pushing the limitation of the system, and they're cool. Yeah, look, Hobby Lodge, like but at the minute, him and all of you guys, like all banging out the 8-bit.
Everyone's got to go, and if you're not subscribed to Hobby Lodge, you've got to go and subscribe to him, because he's like about 300 or 400 subscribers.
Yes,
and I know he keeps like nearly getting there and dropping a little bit and nearly getting there. So if you haven't subscribed to Hobby Lodge, please go and subscribe to him. Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, homebrews are cool, and I think if Bear plays a couple, I think he would like these, because I think he would appreciate you're getting the best out of the system. But I know what Bear's saying, but I think these are pretty cool, and it's nice because I just think they're really good. I think Organism is awesome, and all the ones I've got so far, the 4 I've got, I'm really enjoying. I can't say one's better than the other because they're all so different, but they're all so good.
Well, I mean, God, Scott, sorry.
I was just going to say, with Lee talking about and Martin keeps talking about and I've always said that I won't buy homebrew for the Commodore 64, but that Guns and Ghosts, I'm sitting here.
I'm telling you,
I'm ordering that game on tape once we get off this stream.
I'm telling you, just watch a video of it, Scott. It's the music. Oh my God. And it's so, listen, I was, sod Martin, arsehole, making me buy more games.
Right, I'm going to show you a couple. I only got a couple of bits this month. Now, the ironic thing is, I bought these for the Spectrum, and the Spectrum don't work, so I can't play them on the Spectrum. But luckily, I got a download code, so I'm actually playing them on a handheld at the moment.
Oh, cool.
So I'm playing them on one of these Chinese Power Kiddie V90s, which is very small. It's basically the size of a Game Boy Advance SP. But at least I can play them until I've got a Spectrum that works. So first of all, same as what Scott's got, I got Redshift.
Nice.
Obviously, I heard Scott say good things about it. Nice red tape there as well.
That's nice, isn't it?
Look how
nice
cool that is.
label. Yeah.
But then compared, sorry, Lee. Compared to, I'm not digging out the game, but look,
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's nostalgia, and I'm not being horrible, but come on, man, that's
If
not
you like that, you'll like this. So this is the
Yeah, I want that.
collector's edition of Alien Girl.
Yeah, I
I've
want
ordered that today.
Now,
That's only on the Spectrum, innit? So I'm gonna have to get a Spectrum now.
yeah, so this was originally 25 quid down to 18 in a sale. I mean, look at the
nice.
artwork. And there's a bit of glare there, I know, but you got basically the alien queen, and your main character's like a alien human hybrid. And there's the back. Now you get a digital download as well, and you've got the normal version on side A. Just hold that up so you can see it.
Very nice.
Yeah,
And
I'm
you
gonna have
get
to
the
buy that.
skirmish edition on side B. So, and I'll show you the inside as well. Because for 18 quid, what you get in this is really good. So you get nice poster, which is there. So you get that. Then you get a badge and a sticker.
Nice.
Then you got your full colour manual.
Lovely.
Yeah, and you got a few pages, like it's mainly advertising, if I'm honest, but it does tell the controls on that, and some of the screenshots there. But it don't stop there. You get the multimedia CD, which has basically got the soundtrack and a few other bits on it. And the last thing, which is still sealed because I haven't had a reason to open it, is the actual tape.
Really nice.
And that's a nice silver colour tape. Although
I like that. Yeah.
See what
size
I mean,
one was
Bear?
bright green. Like, so,
It's a rabbit hole.
It is. It is.
and if I show you the inside of the box as well, it's all made out so that the disc sits there, the tape sits there.
Oh wow.
They really thought about it. It's really good quality.
18
Gonna say, yeah, 18
Yeah.
quid bargain.
18
That.
quid. Yeah,
Where from,
So-
Lee? Because Ian's asking.
that's bitmapsoft.co.uk. Definitely worth getting, guys. It's a good game. It's not an easy game, I've got to say that. But yeah, very good game. If you want to know what it looks like, so I did a video.
Yes.
Who else did a video? Somebody else did one as well, I think. So yeah, like I say, I would have done a video, but I haven't got a working Spectrum at the moment, so that was out the question. Yeah, on that note, I'm basically probably going to sell that as is, because it loads some games, but most of them it don't. So I'm probably going to sell that as is and get hold of another one, because I've tried everything. I've switched out the RAM. That didn't work. And I've done that a couple of times. Bought a different PCB. That didn't work. PSU unit. That didn't work. So
Good grief, yeah.
I've got no idea what's wrong with it.
There's not much else left, really, is there?
Well, no, this is it. And it's just become a money pit, and it's just, I can't keep spending, so yeah. Someone's put here, Alien Girl's a quality game. What's this? Alien Girl. Yes, I did showcase that. That's right. Quality game, yeah. That's what I answered a minute ago. What's Rach put? Would any of you buy a homebrew game and keep it sealed? Well, I don't know. Nah, I think
No.
I'd want to play it.
Yeah. So.
It's basically 8-bit crack. What about you, Chef? Where did you get your Alien game? That's Cytronic you got that from, isn't
Yeah,
it?
Cytronic's website. I'll send you a link, Ian, because their website is really nice, and they do tape or disc. Hence why
Have you tried
I'm
that?
going to show this for the second time ever. Obviously, my disc drive. That's why.
Take it out of the box.
No, not yet, not yet. That's why when I saw Martin play the games on disc, I was like, yeah, I want to do that as well, man. So that's why I bought it. And that's why at the minute I'll buy just discs, unless I have to buy Alien Girl is obviously tape. I will buy a Spectrum. I need to find a nice one, and I'll
That's
buy
what I'm
that.
looking at right now. Look.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a really nice website, Scott. And like I said, honestly, mate, just watch like like a quick trailer for Guns and Ghosts. It's definitely up your street, mate. It's pretty nice.
Hang on, what's that there? Have you tried a hammer?
That's for you, Lee.
What about the Spectrum? Yeah.
Yeah, that's about the only thing you haven't tried. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll just buy to display artwork is awesome. Oh, what about the Alien Girl? Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
definitely.
that
That's
is.
lovely. I'm gonna buy that now just for the sake of having it, and then when I get a specky, I can play it. I
It's
think that looks cool,
hugely
man.
inspired by aliens. You can see
So,
it kind of just on the artwork.
This Cytronic website is highly inspired by Commodore, though, because I've just noticed they've only got 5 Spectrum games. They've got 4 Amstrad and about
A lot of
10
Commodore.
pages of Commodore 64.
Well,
Yeah, but saying that, you could argue like Bumfun Gaming's pretty much all Spectrum, isn't it? And
Yeah,
I'd
true.
say that probably Bitmap is really. There's more Spectrum
Yeah.
on Bitmap than there is Commodore 64.
the thing is, Scott, as well, with these games, the music's been unreal. So you can see why it's all Commodore, because of obviously the SID chip. So when you hear these games play, like Organism is so atmospheric for and when you listen to them, especially Guns and Ghosts, it's awesome. It's awesome.
I'm gonna order that game.
it's good, man.
That's on your recommendation.
Yeah, man, please, and do a vid because people, especially because it's about graveyards and zombies and stuff. It's definitely
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely
Right
down
up
your
my
alley.
street,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's one I want to get hold of. I've been looking at it for a while, but the thing is, what happens is they keep releasing new ones, and then I see that and I'm like, oh, I want that one, and so
Yeah.
Guns and Ghosts gets put off again. So
Yeah, I know what
Yeah.
you mean. It's easily done.
yeah. My only issue with a lot of the homebrews I find though is that some of these websites they don't put the postage together, if you know what I mean. Like, say you pay £2.50 on a tape, they'll charge you that on every tape you bought, rather than think, well, we're sending it as one parcel. Let's put it down a little bit,
Rather than consolidate it. Yeah.
So you find that with some of them, they don't do that, and that makes a big difference because then, say, instead of paying £9 for a tape, now you may be paying £11.49 each tape because you're paying the postage on every single one. But is what it is, I suppose. They've got to make money somehow. I suppose that's probably one of the ways they do it. So I suppose you can't moan too much, can you? $8.99 for a new game,
Nothing to do with it.
I ordered 3 games off Bitmap Soft today, and it was a £5 post for the free. So I thought that was okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not all sites, but some of them do it. So,
yeah.
Oh, hang on, what's this here? Shameless plug for the Alien stream, Lee. Yes, that's right. Yeah,
Couple of weeks' time.
VHS bootleggers. Although I think the date might be changing now, if I'm right, Lee.
It might be the week after. We got to work it out, but yeah.
Yeah, someone's got to go to Wembley, ain't they?
Some nutter. Some nutter from Newcastle, who's a Sunderland supporter, filthy animal.
See, anyone collect the Rare computers? Memotech, Apricot, Falcon, MSX. Yeah, see, MSX. That's
I would love an MSX or FM Towns. I'd love those. The FM Towns is my grail on computers. I'd love one, but they're serious money.
Yeah, Retrobait's after an MSX, and the Apricot. I remember someone I know having one of them.
Pedro's
Can't
got
remember
one.
who it was.
Pedro's got one as well.
Yeah.
Dragon 32 and the Dragon 64 as well. They're interesting ones to get.
Yeah.
Welsh made, weren't they? So,
I did have a Dragon 32, but I got rid of it. It was god awful. Oh,
they're not great. They're not great at all. But they fetch quite a few quid now. They're not overly cheap to pick up.
Look what Hobby Lodges put.
Yeah.
Yeah, depends
Well,
on who
let's
you
get a lot better now. I ordered them at lunchtime today on the 11th of May, 2022. Let's see when they turn up.
Cytronic could be there Saturday or Monday.
Really? Are they that quick on the postage? Are they?
They are quick.
They are pretty good, to be fair, mate. They are pretty good.
Isn't the FM the only way to play the proper version of Splatterhouse 1?
Correct.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's the arcade Exact.
Right.
A lot of the
FM
FM Towns games had more arcade perfect ports
Mm.
than anything else, because Chase HQ as well
Yes.
was brilliant on there.
I remember seeing it in the magazines years and years ago, and never actually seen one in the flesh. You know,
Yeah.
it's,
Cyber Snake J has or had one.
He had the Marty, didn't he? The console version.
Yeah. He either has it or he's had it, because he had Splatterhouse, and the box was like fucking massive for it. I don't know if he's still got it, but yeah, he that's when I was like, wow, and he showed it, and I was like, wow, this is like arcade perfect. Like, wow.
Right. Okay, guys. Well, I think we're going to wrap this one up here because we've been going nearly 2 hours.
It's flown by.
it's flown by, isn't it? Yeah,
Great.
Yeah.
You're good.
Time flies when you're having fun.
it does.
Yeah, man.
So I thought we'd go around each one of you. Let us know what you got coming up or what you got planned. You know, Lee's like nothing. Although it should be play it forward box.
I was going to say,
I've got a live stream. I've got a live stream for that. Got to sort out with the gentleman. I have actually got a live stream about that soon.
I reckon you'll do a video when you plug that Commodore 64 disk drive in, won't it?
This one. You talking about this one?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. Haven't seen that before. Scott, what you got coming up?
Well, at the minute, I'm really enjoying my journey with the Philips CDI.
Love it.
And I have accumulated all these games, and I'm not playing any of them until I share it with everyone else, and I put them on for the first time on my videos. And I've really enjoyed. It's really sparked me again with YouTube, if I'm being honest with you, in this journey.
Good.
I've really enjoyed it. I can't wait to do the next one and pick 3 more games. So I'm going to be focusing on that a bit. And I'm wanting to, obviously, I'm Sega Zombie. I've got to have Sega. I'm going to be doing quite a focus on Japanese Sega Saturn
Nice
games, because I've got some really nice games in my collection, and I think I need to start playing some of those and showcasing some of them. It's probably in a similar way to what I'm doing with the Philips CDI videos, a similar sort of setup. And I'm really enjoying it at the minute. I'm getting a right buzz because it allows me to play some games while chatting to everyone else, and the interaction. I'm really enjoying it.
Great vids.
Yeah. I enjoy watching them. Bear, what have you got coming up?
Well, the good news is I've stopped playing PlayStation games now, so we haven't been doing any of those for a while.
Oh, you had a PlayStation month, didn't you?
Yeah, it was just Eddie at Rollercore came up with it. It was fun to do, don't get me wrong, but not to get back and do some other systems now. So I'm whether I'll get it done before the end of this week or it's me next week now. I was at Birmingham Gaming Market on Sunday, so I've got a bit of footage from that and a quick review of that coming up. Little series I do called Why I Love, where I'll go through some other bits and pieces in my collections, not just gaming stuff, but other things. Someone sent me something to the post yesterday, so I'm going to open that and show that off, because that's another thing that I collect for as well. Some VHS in there, so I know people like VHS, so I'll show some of that off. Got TMB podcast on Sunday. Couple of really special guests for that one as well. So 8 o'clock over on my channel. So I hope you can pop along and do that. And a couple of projects as well I'm working on, which are sort of slowly coming together. So that's interesting things in the pipeline. And then hopefully get back and do some more Commodore Corner, because people keep asking me when's the next lot of Hit Squad videos going up. So I shall have to delve into that and go through the rest of them. But I'd like to introduce, obviously, the other systems I've got as well, like the Amstrad and the Spectrum, because I've got more, thanks to Scott, obviously, from last year, more Spectrum Hit Squads than I got Commodore 64 ones. So I'd like to try and incorporate doing Spectrum and Amstrad gameplay as well alongside the Commodore 64. So I've got a few things bouncing around, which is good. But it's been a busy few weeks. I've done a lot of these streams, and I've got the bootleggers again. We had to postpone last night, and we've been bootleggers again next week. Wrestling bootleggers thing that we do. So yeah, busy, but lots of different content. Yeah,
you certainly are on the tubes a lot just lately, but I've noticed that.
I noticed that. I'm going to disappear again because people start getting fed up seeing me.
No, I can't imagine that for a second, mate.
You like, yeah, well, yeah, we'll wait and see how that turns out. But yeah,
Well, I'll definitely want you back on here at some point. So
Yeah,
I've enjoyed it thoroughly and would love to come back, mate. So yeah,
good stuff. Lee.
Yeah, so it's my birthday next week. So that's a big one. Got the wrestling next Tuesday with Bear and Mega Powers. I've enjoyed.
Oh, is that what you're doing? The Mega Power?
Yeah.
Oh,
but
nice.
Bear's given us all the dates from Saturday night main event all the way through. So I'm like 99% through all of it. And it's been great to see these two juggernauts of wrestling come back, watching it like it's again sort of thing, It's been awesome. So we've got that next Tuesday. I was meant to do a podcast with Ian next Tuesday, but I've told him live on here I'm not doing it now because I'm doing the wrestling instead. So that's good. I've then got Swap Shop end of the month, which will be live from the Multi-Tap Gaming Hub in Debden, where I was very welcomed by Ali and Chris, the owner, when I done the Street Fighter tournament, which has got another episode coming up tomorrow night, I believe. So
you got some skills on that. You got some skills on that.
Oh yeah, I'm not bad, mate. I'm not. I tried to keep it.
I thought I was quite good, but nah.
No, listen, I'm shit hot. I'm shit hot. I didn't even win, and I'm shit hot. Oh shit! Fuck, I should have said that. So yeah, I'm live. We'll be live at the Gaming Hub. We're doing the stream, which is going to be awesome because he's asked me to do it from the hub. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's close to home, so that'd be great. And then hopefully next week I can squeeze in with Martin. Oh, fuck, I said it. I've spoiled that now. The Play It Forward box and maybe Retro 5 next week. And Lee, I've just had two wicked messages from one very big tuber and now one very big other person who said they would want to be involved. So that's very good for us, Scott and Lee.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good.
If they're legit,
I'm intrigued.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So lots will be going on, and obviously the games room. I'm just waiting for builders to do their job, and then once they're in place, I'll be back on the tubes, annoying people as I used to do, with loads of pickups, Laserdisc stuff to show, which I've never shown anyone.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, I look forward to that.
I would like to see that
stuff.
Yes,
I've also got an RCA system, which I've never shown anyone, which is an early style record video player that plays movies, but as they're
have you got one of them? Have you?
I have, but I haven't showed anyone.
I picked up some of the actual vinyl films.
Yes, because they're in like a cassette, and when you push them in, they fall. But you know what makes it even better, Scott? When I was going through my stuff and I found my Philips. Sorry, Lee, to carry on. My Philips CDI controller, I found my Blue Thunder RCA movie.
Oh,
nice.
And Blue Thunder, as Scott knows, is on Netflix.
Yeah.
And it's one of my favourite movies because it's the uncut version, which is by far the best version.
You just like the gymnastics at the start, don't you?
Oh my God.
But for a risk of going off on a tangent here, what's the difference in the uncut version?
The gymnastics scene at the beginning.
Yeah, there's a scene. There's more swearing in it anyway. There's not loads of swearing, but it's more swearing. You see a bit more. There's a scene where they're hovering over this lady's house and she's naked and she's doing gymnastics and you see everything. And she's like, and this is a Disney movie. You know, you're like, what? It's the uncut version. So there's swearing. There's a bit more when he's getting shot.
Bit more blood, isn't there? Yeah.
Yeah, he's getting shot in a helicopter, which meant to be bulletproof, but you get. But anyway, there's a bit more stuff. But please watch it if you haven't seen Blue Thunder. I'm sure people have, but I love Blue Thunder. So yes, thank you, Lee. Nice. Thank you for having me on, Lee. I've really enjoyed it. I love to hear Bear's nostalgia. Love hearing Scott's and yours as well, mate. So really.
I wanted you on here as well because, like I say, it's a different perspective, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
So it was interesting to get your take on things. So. Right, so what have I got coming? I've got a couple of Amiga videos coming up at some point. I've just been going through a lot of the games I used to play when I was younger, so I'll have them coming. I'm waiting on a C64 homebrew game to arrive, and when it does, I'm going to be doing a vid on that. Obviously, like you said, we've got the Retro 5. Do we know who's doing the Retro 5 yet this month?
It's
Paul,
it's
isn't it?
Paul. Paul's doing it.
It's on
Yeah.
Retro Bait's channel, right?
Yeah, but he's
okay.
got to sort out. So yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so we got that. And I am working on a project. I did mention this, I think, last month. But I'm still trying to get it down to a T. But I'm doing a video on how do I put this without giving anything away? So it's about a guy that invented something many years back, but history kind of forgot him a little bit. That's all I'm going to say. So
That sounds interesting.
yeah, but the thing is, there's so many things this guy did that, and it comes from so many different sources. It's making sure that everything's accurate before I do it, because I don't want to do it and then have one of these anoraks come out and go, "Oh, actually, I think you'll find that you're actually wrong on that." You know, I don't want that. So I want to get it spot on. So yeah. So it's took me a while. I'm still trying to get the script just right on it, but once I do that, I'll be out. So right, okay. Anyone else want to add before we wrap this up?
No, mate. Thank you again, Lee. Really
Yeah.
It's been really good.
It's been a
Yeah,
pleasure.
just thanks very much for having me on and to be with these fine gentlemen here as well. It's been a pleasure. So
it's been great. I really enjoyed it, and thanks to everybody in the chat as well, because this chat's been very busy. There's been loads of comments and stuff.
Loads of interaction in there. It's been really good.
Has. Yeah, it's been really good. Right, okay. So there's one thing left to do before we end this, because it's kind of tradition now. So you got to wave like you're on a dodgy 80s game show as we put on the end credits. And here we go.